Dear students, now we are going to learn research design, meaning, definition, features, need and components of research design. So first of all, what is the meaning of research design? So research design is the framework of research methods and techniques chosen by a researcher. Okay, so it is the framework of research methods and techniques chosen by a researcher at the time of conducting his research. The researcher has to adopt a number of methods and techniques to collect data, to analyze data, and to process the research data. Okay, so a research design is a set of methods and procedures used in collecting and analyzing the measures of the variables specified in the problem research. So we have identified a problem in the beginning stage of our research. Okay, so the methods and procedures used for collecting the data, analyzing the data, etc. must be clearly specified in the research design. And the research design is also known as research outline, research plan, or blueprint of the research, or simply research design is a plan of action regarding the research of the researcher. Okay. Then now, what are the definitions given by various authors? First definition given by Pauline V Young. Your research design is the logical and systematic planning and directing a piece of research. What is research design? A research design is the logical and systematic planning and directing a piece of research. Then another definition given by Riger E Kirk. Research designs are plans that specify how data should be collected and analyzed. So research designs are plans that will specify how the data should be collected and how the data collected should be analyzed. So now we are going to discuss the features of research design. First one is that it provides a framework for the collection and analysis of data. Okay, by using the framework, we can collect and analyze the data. Second feature is that it is a plan of action to be undertaken from the inception of the research to the preparation of a report. Okay, so this research design will explain what are the steps to be taken by the researcher from the beginning of the research up to the preparation of the reports. The next feature is it is a strategy which includes the methods to be used to collect and analyze the data. Next feature is it includes a comprehensive estimate of time and cost related to the research project. How much time is required for completing the project, how much cost will be incurred for collecting and analysis of data, etc. should be included in the plan or design. Okay. Next one is it indicates the type of data to be collected and their source. Which type of data should be collected for this study and which are the sources from which we can collect data. Mainly two sources are the primary source and secondary source. The source of data depends upon the type of research, the nature of research, etc. Next feature is the type of research design is determined by the problem, its nature and data. Which different types of researches are there that we have already discussed. Which type of research design is determined by the problem identified by the researcher, the nature of the problem, the data required for the research, etc. Then now we are going to discuss the need for research design. What is the purpose of preparing a research design? First one is it provides the researcher a blueprint for studying research questions. Okay, so we have identified a research question or research problem. In order to study the research question, we should have a correct plan or we should have a blueprint. So, research design provides a blueprint for studying the research question. Second one is it enables the researcher to channelize his energies in a specific direction. It's a plan. So, the plan will help the researcher to channelize all his energies towards that particular direction. Next one is it enables the investigator to anticipate potential problems in the implementation of the study. At the time of implementing the plan, we will have to meet some problems. So the research design will help the investigator to anticipate what are the problems to be faced by the researcher at the time of implementation of the study. Next one, it assists the researcher in providing answers to various kinds of research questions. Next one, it stops the researcher from going off in unnecessary directions and tangents. It helps the researcher or it stops the researcher from going off in unnecessary directions and tangents. Now, we are going to discuss what are the important components of a research design. First one is need for the study. So, the research design will explain the need for and importance of this study. Second one is literature review. Review the previous work done on the topic and understand what they did. And we have to find out the gaps. Okay, so literature review simply means reviewing the previous work done on the topic. So this will help to identify the research gap. Next one is statement of the problem. The research problem should be clearly stated and we have to give a title to the study. Okay, then research objectives. What are the objectives that must be achieved by doing the research? That should be clearly mentioned in the research design. Then formulation of hypothesis. Hypothesis simply means tentative answers, okay, or possible outcomes to the problems of the research. So, formulation of hypothesis is one of the important steps involved in the process of research. So, at the time of preparing research design, we have to formulate the hypothesis required for the study based on the objectives of our study. Then operational definitions. If the studying is using uncommon concepts or unfamiliar tools, then we have to give operational definitions to the concepts and tools, unfamiliar concepts and tools used in our study. That is what is called operational definition. Definitions given in your own words. The next one is scope of the study. So it is very important to define the scope of the study. Okay, and the scope of the study includes geographical scope, then content scope, then chronological scope. Okay, so the geographical scope includes the scope of the study includes geographical scope, the area covered by the researcher, either Kerala or a particular district or India as a whole. Geographical scope should be mentioned. Then content scope. Then the chronological scope, that means the time period selected for the study, etc. should be mentioned in the scope of the study. The next one is sources of data. Okay, here the researcher has to decide the sources of data from which data are to be collected. Mainly two sources are the primary source and the secondary source. The next one is method of collection. Okay, so the researcher has to determine whether census method or sampling method is to be employed. Two methods are the census method, studying all the units in a population, that is called census method. Then sampling method, we are selecting a small sample from the population and studying the elements selected for the sample. The next one is data analysis. So after collecting the data, we have to analyze the data. So which are the tools used for data analysis, etc. must be mentioned here. The next one is presentation of the results of the study. Presentation of the results of the study. The format of the project report and the decision on chapterization should be clearly mentioned here. Okay, the format of the project report and the decision on the chapterization should be clearly mentioned under this heading. Then time estimates. The time that can be taken to complete each and every activity of the research must be clearly mentioned here. How much time is required for collection of data? How much time is required for analysis of data? How much time is required for preparation of a report, etc. must be clearly mentioned here. Then financial budget. The cost estimate for each activity must be clearly mentioned. How much money is required for collecting the data, how much money is required for analysis, etc. must be clearly specified here. Administration of the enquiry. Next one is administration of the enquiry. Okay, this involves identification of the personnel and the type of training to be given to them. For conducting the research, we need the help of some persons. Okay, how much personnel are required for conducting this study? Okay, and which type of training should be given to them, etc. must be clearly mentioned here. Okay, thank you.